Alright, you turn at the sign for the grist mill. Today, YouTube, we're going to ride the Norris Watershed. It's a pretty tame set of trails. It's a small area just north of Knoxville. You turn off exit 122, that's Clinton. And you turn right, you follow signs to Norris Dam. And when you're right about at Norris Dam, you take a right onto this gravel road. It says grist mill. You saw the little place there before as we came in. Pull over real quick, check the camera, check the bike, have some fun, have a drink of water. Alright, check the fluids in the bike, check the fluids in the trousers. That fluid level was a little high, so I let out probably about 400 milliliters. I think it'll get me the response on the trail that I'm looking for. You always want to check the trouser fluid right before you hit the trail, especially if you're planning on it being a bumpy trail. You're just going to handle these obstacles a whole lot better if you let out that, about 400 milliliters, depending on, how much you put in there at the beginning of the day. And we're off. Chipmunk! You gotta get out of the way, Chipmunk. I'm just coming off the road. Same pressure I was running on the interstate here. I'm not taking anything too seriously today. The first trip out here was a pretty funny experience. Brian was showing me the trails out here, and I hadn't been here before, and I was just getting into the trail riding, and I broke my top case flinging it around up through here. Brian is a far better rider than I am, and he was flying through here at warp 9, and me being stupid, thinking, well, he can do it, I can do it. If you are riding with a buddy who's a lot better than you, you should probably throw that kind of mindset out of the way, I've always kind of done that when I'm following somebody in a car, oh, if they're going that fast and my car handles better than theirs, or my tires are better than theirs, or I've got just as good a car as them, I can go as fast as they are and not have a problem. Whether that's stupid on the road or not, it's amplified on these trails with these bikes, But generally, having too much guts is not the problem, it's too little. So maybe you guys won't have the problem that I did there with that. But right back there, or right through here somewhere, I went over one of these big bumps and bam! My top case ripped off. It had my tools in it and a couple water bottles. I was still using, you know, soft water bottles at the time. You know, just a plastic water bottle from the gas station. Those busted everywhere, got all my tools soaking wet. Fortunately, I didn't have anything back there that, you know, was utterly ruined by that. I rusted up a hunting knife and got everything kind of nasty, but that was about it. So I pulled out the rope, lashed the sucker back on with about 40 foot of cord, and kept riding the trails. I mean, I rode for another couple hours pretty hard. My lashing didn't come undone. The real unfortunate thing about how well I lashed all that on is that flat tire that I mentioned that I got on the way back. We rode all in there, everything was fine, and then I started to ride back on 75 back towards Maryville, and my tire just went flat. There was nothing in it, but it had like a pencil-sized hole in it and went through the inner tube. So I had to get all those tools back off, which meant I had to unlash it, open up, deal with all the wet tools, lay the bike over on its side, pull the tire off, get it fixed, ride back home with a front inner tube in the rear, and lash all that crap back on. Then once I got home, I had to get me another inner tube, take the tire back off, do all that stuff. So that was my first experience up here. I broke a top case and got a flat tire on the way home. But I've been back a few times since. Fortunately, nothing's just went awry yet. I'm up. I think we come back that way. Been a little while since I've been up in here. Really, guys, this, if you're, you know, in Knoxville, Maryville, anywhere close to any of those, you can come out here. This, the trails, I mean, I'm, you know, blasting around out here. It's not that big, so there's only so many turns that you can make, and it's kind of scary coming into an area not knowing where you're going. But if you're just not, you know, in a time crunch and only have 45 minutes to come out here and ride everything twice, then you'll figure it out. I mean, there's only so many ways to go, and you'll come back to something and you'll be like, ah, well, this looks familiar. Ready to take a trip on the K1200, and we're going to bring cameras along and take the channel on the road. So a lot of people, you know, it may not seem like the biggest trip in the world, but it's going to be a pretty big one for us. We're going to go about 800 miles away from home when it's all said and done. We're going to leave out of Maryville, ride over to Nashville, and there's a town outside of Nashville called Franklin, and we're going to get on the Natchez Trace Parkway, and just outside Franklin there, and then we're going to ride from there down to Natchez, Mississippi. I think Natchez, Mississippi. Yeah, it's Mississippi, and that's about 150 miles away from Baton Rouge and all that stuff, but we're not going to go down to New Orleans or anything. We're just going to stay in a bed and breakfast in Natchez, Mississippi the second night of our trip. We're going to camp the first night along the parkway, and then we'll come back either the parkway or we might interstate it back depending on how we're feeling about the trip. But yeah, we're going to take the camera with us, and we're going to document some of that for you guys. So it's not going to be like an off-road by any means. I don't like doing much more than a little bit of gravel on the K12, but it'll be fun nonetheless, and we'll show you what's along that way. And you know, if you guys have a bike or the means or a wife that wants to ride, maybe you can jump out and go yourself for a little vacation. Maybe in the fall we'll go and do Blue Ridge Parkway again. We did it this fall. We weren't doing channel at the time, so you know, that didn't happen, but I might take the camera back up there. We saw so many beautiful pictures, or took so many beautiful pictures. It was really hard to pick from them, you know, which ones we wanted to use for different things. I mean, it's just a great multi-use trail. I mean, those guys are out here torturing themselves on it, you know, calling it fun. And the people with the Jeeps and trucks and stuff, they can come back through here and have a good time, go get off the beaten path a little bit away from everybody. So that's awesome. The horses come through here, and you know, I just slow down a lot. Maybe even turn my bike off and let them pass me if we meet head on. And everybody has a good time.